Have you ever gotten your tax refund and within like a week, all of your money was gone? Yeah, I've been there. So today we're going to talk about how to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. Hi everybody, welcome back to Work Right Planner. My name is Erica and here I share my unique perspective on planning and budgeting from the perspective of a person who was a single mom. You see, I spent nearly 2 decades raising my kids on my own on a single income, and it taught me some things, and I want to share that with you guys. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you can be notified when I upload a new video. And for all of you that are returning subscribers, welcome back. I'm glad you're here, and thank you so much for supporting my channel. It means the world to me. So we are in the midst of tax season, y'all, and if you're like me, you didn't waste any time getting those taxes filed, and there is no feeling under the sun like finding out you're getting money back, right? And if you're low income like I was, you might actually need that relief. But so often I would see my friends get that money and they would be like, hey, I'm going to go buy the next biggest, brightest thing that I can find. But this is really a golden opportunity for you to have extra money that can help you reach your financial goals that you've set for yourself. So don't waste it, don't miss this opportunity. So right now, ignore all things shiny and make yourself a plan for where this money is going to go before it hits your bank account. Now, I have created a printable that you can use to help guide you in making your plan for your tax return or for your refund. And you can find that in the description box below. The number one thing that I would suggest that you look at whenever it's time for you to decide what you're going to do with your income tax return is, do you have an emergency fund? Now, I call it my Murphy Fund. Anyone who has watched my budget with me knows that I have a category that's called Murphy, and I've named it that because of Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And I'll even add, it usually does go wrong because, I have needed to use that fund a lot. But I highly recommend that you have one. And before my income got to what it is now, I was actually raising my kids on about $8,000 to $12,000 a year, which is why I have so much student loan debt, because I was supplementing my income with that. But when your income is that low, you have to really scrimp and save every penny that you have. So I didn't have money to throw into an emergency fund. So every year I would take $1,000 at least and put it into an emergency fund that did not get touched unless I absolutely had to touch it. And so that's what I would recommend your first step being, is you're going to look and see whether or not you have an emergency fund. Now, what your amount is completely up to you and what you believe. For years, the $1,000 got me through. I will say it mostly got me through. What I have learned most recently, or what I've decided is right for me, is that I want my basic beginner emergency fund to be enough to cover my deductibles on my home insurance and my car insurance. And I landed there because during 2021, I had to use both. And it really hurt my bank account. So that's what my recommendation would be. Some people want 3 months worth of expenses in there, and maybe as a long-term goal, you could do that. But I think initially, $1,000, a couple of grand, even just a couple of $100, depending on where your income is at. But if you're getting a high enough tax refund, like I used to get like $7,000 in a year. So putting $1,000 of that toward an emergency fund every year, or even $1,500, that was a drop in the bucket, really. I had plenty of extra money to go around. So if you're one of those people, I highly recommend $1,000, $2,000, set it back, don't touch it unless you have to. Number 2 would be to create some breathing room in your monthly budget. So take a look at your budget. Are there any bills that are small enough that you could multiply that number by 12 and set that amount back? And each month pull from that, and that way you've got that bill paid and you don't have to touch your monthly income to do it. There might be 2 or 3 that you could do that with if you've got a $7,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 tax refund coming. So be smart about it. Be strategic. What can you set the money back for in advance? That way you don't have to worry about that later. Some examples of these might be your cell phone bill or maybe your internet. I've even gone so far as to set half of my rent back every month, and then I only had to come up with the other half, which was easy enough to do. Number 3 is going to be to meet some of those needs that you can't meet any other way. I couldn't set money back for car repairs. I couldn't set money back for certain health needs that I had. Like, I'm a bariatric patient, so I have to have a protein supplement every day. For the rest of my life, I have to have multivitamins and calcium, and y'all, there's a whole slew of things that I have to pay for. But regardless, I didn't have the money in my monthly budget when I was only making, 10 or 12 grand a year to pay for that stuff. So when I would get my tax refund, I could set the money back to cover those. I knew I had to have them. The money had to come from somewhere, so why not come from this large sum of money that is miraculously showing up in my bank account? This is where I would pull the things that I know are coming, that I know I'm going to need, but they're things that we need. So take, for instance, when my children outgrew their crib and needed a toddler bed, I did not have one that converted to a toddler bed, so I had to purchase toddler beds, and I would pull that money from the income tax money. When they outgrew the toddler beds and I needed bigger furniture, that year I also pulled the money for the new furniture out of my income tax return. This is also where back in the day I would have purchased a lawnmower or funded my kids' birthday parties. Things like that I knew were going to come, that were going to have to be covered. I would pull those out, and that way I didn't have to set money back for them every month. It's a win-win, but cover those needs first. Number 4 would be to cover some dreams. Make progress toward whatever goals that you have. So if you want to put your kids into lessons but you never have the money to cover that, fund the swim lessons or piano lessons or whatever type of lessons. I don't know what your kids want to do, but set the money back for it. If they want sports, or if Halloween is a big deal for you all and you know you're going to have to buy costumes come October, put the money back for the costumes, and then you don't have to worry about it when the time comes, because wow, are they expensive. And my personal favorite was to fund family vacations with this money, because otherwise my children never would have known what a vacation was. I mean, let's just be honest. You don't take vacations when all you've got is minimum wage salary or just above it. You just don't. So if it hadn't been for that money, my kids never would have known what a vacation was like. So treat yourself. And so number 5 is going to be to blow the rest. To heck with it. Go for it. If you want a big TV, get you a TV. Notice I said didn't need. If your TV is blown up and TV is important for your family, then it becomes a need. But if you just want a bigger one, if you've got your emergency fund in place, you've got some wiggle room in your budget, you've met your needs, you've budgeted for the big wants, blow the rest. Go get yourself something nice. That's the time to look at shiny, but you have your dollar amount that you need to stay within. And you stay within it, and you're fine. And you can blow to your heart's content. Buy whatever suits your fancy at that point, and you'll be good to go. And that brings us to our question of the day, and that is going to be, did I miss anything that you normally throw your money at that I didn't cover? Because people who are watching this want to know where to put their money. So leave that in the comment box below, and that way we can share our ideas with with everybody. Okay, everybody, just remember, unwatched money has a tendency to disappear very, very easily. So it's really important that you have a plan. Hopefully you'll go through these steps and you'll have that plan. If you need some help with that, check out the printable that I've got in the description box below. Be glad to share that with you. Now, my next video is going to be walking you through how I am going to be spending my tax refund and cash stuffing that money, which should be a lot of fun for everybody involved. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. I can always try to do some more where you get to see my face. It's a little awkward, but you know. In the meantime, YouTube has put the best video for you on the screen. If you want to keep watching, I would be glad to have you. Okay, y'all, I'm going to go. I will see you all in a couple of days. Bye.